also don't want to make... I remember you said that you have to get off the computer because your brother was going to come out.
Well, we still have like 15 minutes, or about 20 minutes, so we can still chat until then.
Okay. Well, I am kind of running out of questions myself, actually. But... Well, is there anything you want to say to the fans out there? Like, you know, my fellow toads and toadettes, like, you call your fans your anti-boredom fidas, right?
Yeah, I do. Actually, for a time it was anti-boredom army, but then the good folks at the YouTube forum said that everyone calls their subscriber-based army, so I was like, that means I'm not gonna be different from them?
Oh, okay.
So I decided to change it to fighters. I don't know why. I call myself the anti-boredom YouTuber. That's why that guy Derob is always after me. Then I'm confused now. I remember I interchanged fighters YouTubers army for a time until eventually I settled on I'm the anti-boredom YouTuber and you guys are my anti-boredom fighters.
I love it, man. I really love the idea that you came up with because I think it's pretty cool. And believe it or not, you actually inspired me to come up with the name of my fan base, my fellow toads and toadettes.
That's always good.
Well, hey, I have to only thank you for it, man.
You mean to tell me before then you just call them
hey guys,
generic fan base?
Yeah, I just called them Hey Guys, TehJew22. I mean, I still call them, like, I would just call them guys and girls, but then I think it was you, but it was also someone else that inspired me to come up with the name. Or
yeah, there are a lot of people who do these sort of defining their subscriber base.
Yeah, so yeah, you are one of the toads, and you are one of my fellow toads, as well as all the other fellow toadettes. Like, so yeah, you're among the toads.
I see that.
So, how does it feel to be a toad?
I don't know.
Well, it feels good to be an anti-boredom fighter.
How do I feel about being a toad? I don't know, toads are amphibians, right?
Well, yes, but I'm really talking about, like, toads from Mario.
I don't know. I guess it would be kinda cool.
Of course, you would have stubby little legs, and you would be nice and short, but I don't know if...
And then I'll have a very big head.
Yes. I mean, hell, I got a big head myself, but... Well, then again, I am a toad, so what else is new? But I believe, yeah, Ryoko has, you know, bosses, or the boss nation, so we're her bosses, I guess you could say.
Boss, I want to give you my work.
Yeah, and Grotus, or LP Grotus, he calls us frogs.
I can totally see why.
You know, I mean, you know, I've said it once and I'll say it again, he's the frog.
Is there a difference between a frog and a toad, like, theoretically in real-life animals?
You know what, let me look it up. I'll look it up very quickly, though.
I'm not like a biology expert, so I wouldn't know. I never even took biology for my GCE O-levels.
Okay. I'm typing up difference between... Oh, yeah, difference between frogs and toads. That's really nice. Well,
was that the first thing Google gave you?
Yeah. Well, I just had to type in frog and then it... Okay. Okay, here it is. What is the difference between frog and toad? Frogs have smooth, shiny, and permeable skin, but it is a rough, dry-looking Oh, I'm sorry. I read it wrong. Sorry. Frogs have smooth, shiny, and permeable skin, but toads have rough, dry-looking, leathery with warts. Do toads do?
Oh, is that it?
No, there's more. Frogs are semi-aquatic habitats. However, toads are more adapted to stay without water compared to frogs. And in addition, toads come to water only during their breeding seasons. And frogs have a narrow body and waist, but toads have a broader and puffy body. And there's even more. Frogs have webbed toes. Frogs have webbed toes. Sorry, I said it wrong, but not toads. Frogs have longer legs, and frogs have teeth on their upper jaw, but none for toads. And there's a couple of other ones, but that's pretty much it.
Wow. So would you prefer being a frog or a toad?
I'd still be a toad. Even though I won't...
I figured as much.
Then again, if you ask Grotus the same question, what would he say?
He'll probably say he prefers being a frog. It's like, yeah.
It's kind of like asking if you wanted to be a blue rubber ball or a blue rubber square.
Yeah.
It's just that ridiculous of a question to ask, but hey.
I guess my brain cells are really, really getting old.
It's not your fault.
What?
We all get old, so don't be too upset about it. I'm trying not to make you feel too bad, okay? I'm just saying, because I don't want you to feel bad. And that's just me being a good friend,
Yep, I get ya.
And I guess, well, I'm kind of running out of stuff to ask, and to the point where I might have to just sign off, because there's so much I would ask, but then there's a lot of stuff I can't think of off the top of my head, sadly. Because, well, yeah, I'm out of questions. Anything you want to ask me?
Anything I want to ask you?
If you don't have any, that's fine. I'm not going to be upset about it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I probably mentioned the name Derob twice.
Yeah, who is Derob? For those who don't know, I know who he is.
I actually forgot. I was like, hey, wait, I forgot. You guys probably won't know who he is. He's the guy who randomly shows up in my updates when I actually bother to animate him to progressively taunt me. Not that he does anything.
Yeah,
he just taunts me and says you will never get anywhere, but for anyone who ever watched anime and the villain is just sitting there and blabbering, taunting, talking, yeah, he's basically like that guy.
Yeah. He's kind of like a bully.
All talk and no show.
Yeah.
I guess that's the impression I want that guy to give.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I really do enjoy Derob, which, for those of you that don't know, Derob, if you spell, yeah, Derob backwards spelt for bored.
I'm pretty certain a lot of people actually know that one, but I'm the first one to actually use it for something,
very creative.
Something
great.
Yeah.
Very creative, actually.
The idea isn't completely mine though. I was blabbering with Ryoko one day on Facebook chat, and then the idea just popped in my head. I just had to do it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he's pretty much like the guy who, because updates tend to be boring, so he's pretty much like the opposite of the fan in my case. He's pretty much like a constant hater who does nothing but blabber on how he's gonna beat me but never gets around to it.
Well,
so he pretty much represents the, negative side of my... Sometimes I use him when I want to point out a disadvantage without me explicitly saying it, like, there was once I had him, say, oh, but half your views actually come from search results, not your subscribers. So instead of me saying it, it will be him. So it'll be like he's the guy who will constantly bash on me and say my negatives, but he really doesn't do much otherwise.
Yeah, he's all about empty threats, and you know what? I think the closest he came to actually, being the closest he came to actually putting you down the most was when the foreign exchangers died, and you wanted to do another group channel, and he pointed that part out.
That was really creepy because there was one update. I'm not sure if I told anyone else about this, but there was one update when I wanted him to taunt the foreign exchanges as a group channel. But by some sheer freaking coincidence, I put the voice clip, I put the animation down, but the voice didn't come out. It was sheer accident. I didn't want to record it, so I just waved it off as an accident and uploaded it on YouTube. Because it would have been really freaky if he really did. Because I believe he was saying stuff like, I can't remember what he said because I recorded it so long ago, but that voice clip would have him literally bashing that group channel, and it would have been a really awful premonition if it really did pop up. So I'm not sure if it was fate or something that it ended up that voice clip never made it into the final video.
Well, now I would not have known that, and who knows, maybe I might have been offended, but hey. But then again, I probably would have just taken it for a grain of salt, and I would have just said, well, that's just Derob talking nothing but nonsense.
And that's exactly what creeped me out when the entire channel closed. I was like, what? Don't tell me I really created a monster.
Yeah, I actually thought that...
guy is really much like a critic of mine. He watches my every move. It's like having an overzealous fan. It's like you, do you have any overzealous fans who sometimes bash on your videos? I know Shy Guy with the lazy guy. He has one fan who's exactly like that, who constantly bashes on his videos.
Yes, in fact, we even talked about the man we called Justin Bailey. Like, that's his name. And the only reason I put it out there was because, well, it concerned him, and not that it concerned me, really, but, you know, he's kind of like, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, if that's his name, that's his name. I mean, I'm not going to hide anything, really, but, yeah, I get what you mean, though, as far as overzealous people out there, and I've had that in the past. Like, I've had those type of people. Now, this is like, I mean, this was like early in my video recording YouTube career, because if this was to happen now, I'm pretty sure you would have seen him, and I'm pretty sure you would have been like, hey, stop talking about that about my friend TehJew22.
Yeah, more advice to new YouTubers. You will always get haters. There will always be that one person who puts this like, don't get discouraged, just try to ignore it. So yeah, this Derob guy, I actually based his sprite off an quite obscure Bubble Bobble game. You probably wouldn't have heard of it. And then I did some sprite editing and just plonked him in. So yeah, that's really it. He basically represents like the hate base, although I don't really have one yet. The hate base of my channel. Like, he's the guy who will always criticize me, and
yeah,
I guess all he really does is criticize.
Exactly.
Because I can't really do much creative things with him, because the thing is, it's not like Flash animation or anything, it's just PowerPoint. I pull off everything in Microsoft PowerPoint, and
oh, of course,
that's it.
Mm-hmm.